Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Soul for Speech podcast. My name is Thomas, and I'm your host here. Today, we're going to talk about oneness. And what is oneness? Is it an individual? Is it a separation? Is it the character that we are? The energy that expands towards everyone on this earth, even through different species and animals and plants and you name it? Who knows? This is a non-scripted podcast, so I'm going to be talking about out of some of the pointers that I have. And the first things first is that wherever you are, whoever you listen to, wherever you come from, follow your intuition, follow your guts. People will be talking about what they call truths, which not necessarily is your truth, or your truth might not be my truth, but it is what's resonating. You observe, you analyze, and then you process the information and release what doesn't fit. Now, that's something that's really important to me to just get out of there straight away, because a lot of people talking about the truth, and yes, it's their experiences. Like with, I'm going to be very, very open here, like with religion, for example, like in the Bible, when you read the Bible, that's someone else's experience, not necessarily yours. So if you're blindly following something, that's kind of dangerous, isn't it? So I want everyone to be on their lookout and just feel what's coming to you. All right, on to the topic of today, oneness. Oneness. Now, before we do that, I want to talk a little bit about the individual, the I, not necessarily the ego, but the meat body, the avatar that we are, the meat bag. In this life, I was given the name Thomas by my parents. I had two brothers, I have a father, and I went to school. I am working on my degree in college still. And I meet a lot of people, even at work. I meet a lot of people every day. Even people I don't know the name of, I probably will never see again. And I think of them usually like another person. Like, that sounds normal, right? Like, you have a brother and you think, yeah, well, he's my brother, he's not me. And the thing about it in spirituality, often when we talk about oneness, is the connectedness that we are. Even if it is consciousness on a conscious level, if it is in a form of energy, or anything like that, like a group of some sort without borders, if that makes sense. Let's go for that, shall we? Now, in spirituality, it is common believed that we are all energy. We know for fact by science that everything around us is of energy and matter, right? And if we are all energy connected into the same source, it would mean that there are some sort of codes and like lines that power through every one of us. Perhaps not even just every one of us, but even animals, plants, things around, like inanimated objects. That's a the thing, but that's the thing when it's not scripted. It just be a little bit of a ramble, but you understand what I mean, don't you? It must be some connection. And if we think about it on the consciousness level, like the unconscious and the conscious level, there should be a collective consciousness that surrounds all of the energy. Like, our souls are part of bigger soul groups. You call soul family, soul mate, soul twin, all these things that you might have heard about like from before. We're just fragment of a much bigger picture. And if we go to religion, we can also look at the divine, aka the source, which in many religion depictions is the creator of everyone and everything, and even says in some of them that God, if you will, God is everywhere. How can God be everywhere? With probably a lot of us in a younger age thinking about someone invisible just watching everything we do. But how can this individual or entity, for that matter, be everywhere at once? Well, it's energy. All of thy be energy, as us. So, we are God, you are God, I am God, and God is energy. In my case, you may believe what you want and take it as you resonate. A lot of this goes in metaphors, just saying, before you jump into the wagon of, oh, I don't like this. But it is what it is. The thing is, if we separate ourselves, if we start to separate ourselves from, say, God, and view God as an entire different entity from ourselves, we lose a lot of our divine power. We lose a lot of what we have been given by the Creator itself. We are part of the creation. We are the creation. So that is what's also meant to say when someone says, you are God, I am God, we are, right? The I am, which is one of the names given to the Creator itself. And it's a really, really powerful mantra. If you wanted to manifest something, you just go I am and then something. Please do not talk bad about yourself. If you do that, it will manifest and you will not feel good. But I'll talk about that another time as well, how powerful words and mantras can be. But yeah, the separation is something that is difficult to distinguish when we're having our human experience, because as Thomas, I went to school, I met friends, and I graduated, I got a job, I meet a lot of people every day, as I said, and the narrative goes that, okay, I have these friends, I have these hobbies, I like these things, and it just connects me to somewhere. Maybe I go to a concert because I like someone's music. I just go a lot of different places. And of course, it's going to be difficult for me to identify a lot of things with other people when the narrative of who Thomas is supposed to be is so apparent in my mind that, like, okay, this is me and this is Thor, for example. He is not me, but he is me. How is that possible? Like, Thor likes these things, I like these things. We might not even think alike in some parts. How is it possible that we could be the same? Well, due to the energy that is all surrounding us, and we think about the collective consciousness of life itself and existence, then yes, we are all connected. And if we embrace the power of connectiveness instead of separation, we have a lot of power. Just imagine the phrase that alone we can do things, but we're stronger together. So when we're together in the same thought patterns, if we have the same goal, if we're working on something like together, like a protest, why do you think it works? Because a lot of voices come together. They want to do the same thing. They're mass manifesting something together with the same intention to send that out to the universe. Because as a collective, it just expands. It's a mass manifestation going on at the same time with the same intentions. It's beautiful. So at those times and those moments when we think we're going for the same cause, we want the same, that's why we protest, well, that's also when you break down the separation. That's also when you are together. Your voices get louder. You get to do things. And that's what also is meant, in my opinion, about, like, together we are stronger. So imagine yourself then on the biggest stage in the world, which is basically the world. It is your life. If everything you see and do is like a stage, an act, all the people you meet, they're living their life, they're living their stage life and performance, and you're doing yours, or everything could be part of the matrix, but I'm not going to go this far with it, but if you see where I'm picturing this, then that is awesome as well. And what does things matter if all of this was just a play? How do you want it to play out? That's the thing. If other people in your life are supporting characters, now notice the word supporting, because they can help you. If you play the narrative, aka manifestation, in the correct way. So you can manifest positives and negatives depending on your emotions, what you send out to the universe, how you talk about yourself, how you do things. So if you're having a bad time, then look yourself into the mirror and start to reflect. Why am I having such a bad time? Are you criticizing yourself a lot? Are you looking down at some situations? Are you fearing for a situation perhaps? Because if you send out an emotion and a thought of something, well, that is manifestation. Then you manifest it. It's not as easy to understand, and perhaps one day I'll also talk about it here on the channel. So that is great. But if then with everyone you meet, and you know that we have a collective consciousness together, we're all energy, we're all part of the same sphere, the existence. When you meet someone, how do you want to act and interact with these people? If you are the same, you can see their struggles, you can see that they're trying, you can see that they're going by their own lives, perhaps very different from yours, because of different interests and whatnot. But I like to think that if we are all one and we try subconsciously and perhaps consciously now that we're more aware of the oneness, I'll try to break that separation, see ourselves in others. And if we do that, how do you want to treat yourself? How do you want to treat other people? How do you want to be treated? Like the golden rule. And I think I deserve happiness. I deserve love. How would you treat yourself then? Would giving myself love create happiness? And why not do that when meeting other people as well? Treat others the way you want to be treated. Because what you send out to the universe comes back to you. So, while our ego and our narrative in this life, if you think about incarnations or not, it's fine, will always tell us me, me, me. But when we start to switch out the word me with we, us, and just that we are one type of mentality, I think a lot of things will happen in your life. You'll be less critical of others because you see their struggles, you see yourself in some of the challenges, and perhaps you'll even get more friendlier. You'll loosen up from fears, because why would you fear yourself? See, there's a lot of benefits. Now, anyways, that's all I have time for on this podcast. I was intuitively told to talk about this today, so it's coming out today. It's the 25th of January 2022. This is going out on YouTube. I'm still doing YouTube for now. Not that I'm planning on stopping, but unless I'm putting this onto another podcast station at some point. That we'll see. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a blessed day. I love you so much. And yeah, have a good one.